So dear students, the today topic is principle and applications of bioassay. Okay. So can anyone able to answer? So what is the assay? Because in B Farm first year, I think in PSC you already done assay for sodium, assay for aspirin, assay for coumarin or ascorbic acid. By using certain burette and chemical and flask, you are making something. The color was appears. So that is the end point of the assay. So what is the use of that assay? So anyone can answer. Anyone? To determine the quality and quantity of the drug in a given sample solutions. Okay, so for example, assay of ibuprofen, you are done, or assay of aspirin, or assay of ascorbic acids. So you are done, or even your assay of sodium, calcium you are doing. So that is those all assay. So they are give exact result regarding the how much ascorbic acid or how much drug is present in the given formulations. Okay, that is the qualitative and quantitative estimation of the given sample in a that is drug in a given sample by a assay, that is known as the assay. Okay dear students, so that is helpful for if you know for ascorbic acid is having so method of assay or so chemical is required. Okay, or so sodium bicarbonate or sodium hydroxide or KMNO4 or indicator phenolphthalein is needed for assay. You know already by through IP, BP or USP. If the drug is completely new or the component is completely new, there is no methods are available. If available, you do not know. So on that time, we want to find out the concentration of that particular drug in a given sample. But these chemical may assay they are not available. If available, we don't know which chemical is required, which is the end point, which is the indicator. We do not know. On such condition, certain methods are helpful to find out the qualitative and quantitative concentration of a given drug. Such methods are known as the bioassay. Assay means qualitative, quantitative estimation of a drug, and bioassay means the same qualitative and quantitative estimation of drug by using a living things or by using a animals or part of animals or by using a microorganism. So with the help of the microorganisms or with the help of the part of the animal or with the help of the whole animal, we are find out the concentration of a prepared solution or the concentration of drug given in a solution, or we can identify discover the new drug, or such methods where the biological things are biological methods or living organisms are involved, and such assay or methods are known as the bioassay. For example, effect of the adrenaline on a heart. Okay, the example is a effect of adrenaline on a heart. Simple, we take the frog and isolate the heart, so where that heart can subjected to the effect on the drugs. That is the by putting the drug and note down the heart rate. Before giving drug, what is the heart rate? Then you give the drug and what is the heart rate. Okay, you can match. If the heart rate is increases, so that indicates so that drug is having the positive inotropic and positive chronotropic effect on a heart. With the help of only the part of animal, we can identify the effect of the drug. Even when the concentration of drug, given drug, when matched with the standard drug, how much drug is required to show the same effect as similar to the standard drug, then also we can calculate the quantitative of a given drug by using a biological methods or animals or part of animals, and such methods are known as the bioassay. And our today topic is the principle and applications of bioassay. So dear students, regarding the definition, the bias is defined as the estimations of potency of an active principle, any main drug in a unit of preparation or detection and measurement of the concentration of substance in a preparation by using biological methods. And biological method means any living things, that is observations of pharmacological effects on a living tissues, that is the skeletal muscle or heart or small intestine or large intestine, are using trachea or uterus. So these are the parts of the animals. So we are using to know the effect of the drug on the bodies. For example, you want to know what is the effect of drug on the uterine muscle. So where you can take the rat uterus and subject the drugs. If the uterine muscles are contracted, so that indicates, so this drug is a oxytocin or uterine contracted drug. If it is relaxed in the presence of contracted drug or in the presence of oxytocin, the still the muscles are relaxed, so that indicates, so that drug is a uterine muscle relaxant, where you are using the only rat uterus, and rat uterus is the living things, or it is the biological method to know the pharmacological effect of the new drug. Those are acting on the uterine muscles, and such methods are known as the biopsy. Or we are using the microorganisms. In the last year, that is, I think, in the microbiology, you were screening regarding the isolating the regarding the microorganism, that is gram positive, gram negative, or E. coli. The same you can prepare the plate. So then after that you can isolate, or you can culture the microorganisms and observe the growth of the microorganism. Then after that you can put the antibiotics patches on the plate and note down the zone of inhibition. If the microorganism growth was inhibited, it can appear the zone of inhibitions like, okay, so this is the agar plate. So these are the microorganisms, and you can put the drug here, drug A, drug B, and drug C, and wait for 48 hours or 24 hours. After that we can observe the same plate. So if it is having the zone of inhibitions, okay, it means there is a disappearance of the microorganisms around that drug. It indicates, so that drug is inhibit the that particular microorganisms, that what it can cultured in that particular plate. You can culture E. coli or many other organisms are Streptococcus or Coccus aureus, Streptococcus, Enterococcus, Gonococcus. So these are all our microorganisms. You can grow in a separate plate and put a drug in each plate. Then observe the each plate after 24 hours or 48 hours, where the zone of inhibition is appears around the drug. It indicates, so that drug only it can inhibit the that microorganisms. If that organism causes any disease means, so that antibiotic is helpful for the treatment of the those disorder is related to the that particular microorganism. So here we are using to know the pharmacological effect or antibacterial effect of that particular antibiotic by using the microorganisms, and microorganisms are the living or biological methods. So that's why by those practicals you're doing in the last year in the microbiology, those all are considered as the bioassay. Those are helpful for to know the effect of the drug on the microorganisms, that is to find out the potency of the antibiotics against the microorganisms. For example, COVID. Okay, so if you want to know any antibiotic is available for COVID means, simple, you can isolate the COVID. Actually the COVID is a virus, it is not helpful easily isolated. If it is the, if suppose you think it is a bacteria, that is possible. So where you can take the serum of the patient and culture on the plate. Then after that different high antibiotic, those are available in the market, you put on the separate plate. Then note down, so where the zone of inhibition is occurs, so that antibiotic is inhibit the, so that type of the microcytic concluded. Then you can publish, so antibiotic is helpful for the treatment of the bacteria induced disorders any kinds. So like that, with the help of the microorganisms we can identify the potency or quality of the new drugs or existing drugs. So such methods are known as the bioassay or microbioassay. Are we using the immune cells? Okay, so immune cells are stem cells. So we can isolate the stem cells. Okay, so from the embryo, so they are stored, then they are multiplied, and they are cultured. So they are used for to find out the effect of the drug. If you want to know the what is the effect of the drug on the heart means, so what the stem cell used for the heart. So they are represent the heart. So are they are isolated from the heart. So those stem cells, they are incubated in the presence of the drug. If any changes occurs or number of cells decreases, so that indicates so that drug is helpful for treatment of the cardiac diseases or heart diseases. So like that, the immune cells are stem cells are also helpful for to know the concentration or potency or efficacy of a new drug, and such methods are known as bioassay. Or we are directly using the animals. You take the animal, for example, you take the dog and measure the blood pressure first without any drug, then after that you can administer the drug. Once again you can measure the blood pressure and compare with the normal blood pressure or before treatment blood pressures. Okay, if the blood pressure is increases, so that indicate that drug is a cardiotonics or vasopressor agent, where the heart is fail, where it is helpful. If the blood pressure is decreases as compared to normal, it indicates it is a anti-hypertensive drug. So like that, with the help of the frog, no, sorry, with the help of the dog, we can know the effect of the drug on the cardiovascular system. So and here the dog is the animal. So that's why. So whatever the method you are used to know the effect of the drug on CVS, such methods are known as a bioassay. So dear students, so here the assay, they are mainly categorized into three types. That is physical assay, that is the by with the help of the physical appearance. For example, once again in PSC, you can physically check the drugs powders, whether it is a odor means so drug is present. If it is a aromatic means you are written in the inference, maybe benzene is present. Or if it is crystal, it is amorphous, it is liquid, or with the help of the boiling point and melting point, where you can add the conclusion, so compound is present only by physically appearing or by physically seeing. You should be concluded that so drug is the present, and such methods are known as the physical assay, because it is also helpful for to identify the drugs. Okay, then chemical assay, you are putting so chemicals, then you can finally can conclude so drug is present, or benzene is present, or ketone body is present, ketone body is confirmed. And with the help of the Benedict reagent, you are written the sugar is present. Then once again the Benedict reagent A and B, you can confirm sugar is present, it is the confirmed in the given urine or blood sample, sugar is come. So these are, you are using certain chemicals and you are doing the certain chemical reactions, and finally you can identify the whether which component is present in the blood or which drug is present in the given solution, and such methods are known as the chemical assay. If physical method is not available, if it is drug completely new, odor is completely new, and there is no chemical method is not available, so then what is the next? So there is the only the left is the bioassay. So this bioassay is helpful for where the physical chemical methods are not available. Okay, or if it is completely new drugs, so then we use the animals first to take the heart, then where we can put the drug. If heart rate is increases means the drug is increase the heart rate. If heart rate decreases means the drug is decreases the heart rate. So like that you can conclude it. Or you can use on the stomach. If you note down the pH of the stomach, then give the drug. If pH is increases means that drug is antacids. If pH is decreases means that drug is induces the acidity. So like that, with the help of the animals, we can find out the effect and concentrations of a given drug, and such methods are known as the bioassay. So dear students, once again the bioassay, so they are mainly classified in two types: in vivo bioassay, in vitro bioassay. In vivo means the study the effect of the drug or pharmacology of the drug in a living organisms or inside the body simply. Okay, so such methods are known as the in vivo process. Complete experiment is conducted inside the body, and in vitro outside the body with the help of the stem cells or many other part of the animals we are using, or directly or using the isolated receptors, and outside the body the experiments or research can be conducted, and such type of assay is known as the in vitro bioassay. Okay, so the bioassay is also known as a microbioassay, because with the help of the microorganisms we are also find out the concentration or efficacy of the given drug. So that's why it is known as the microbiome or radioimmunobiome. So radioimmunobiome means where the drug is distributed. So already you are written in the exams or in the studied. So this drug is cannot be cross the placenta or blood brain barrier. So how they are write that pharmacology? So that is with the help of the radioimmunoassay. So where the drug is administered with the help of the radioligand, then with the help of the scanning they can find out whether that radioligand is present in the brain or not. If it is not present in the brain after administration, it indicates that drug do not cross the blood brain barrier. Okay, or you are written, so drug is go to first pass metabolism, so that's why you do not give the oral route. How it is written? Because where the drug is administered with the help of the ligand. Okay, one ligand is there, a radio ligand is there, it is attached with the drug and administered. After administration, if that ligand with the help of the scanner immediately find in the liver means, so that indicates drug directly enter in the liver without showing any pharmacological effect. If a drug is not find in the liver after administration, it indicates it does not go to the first post metabolism. So like that the distribution, site of absorption and site of action or penetration or elimination was screened with the help of the radioligand labeled drug, and such type of assay are known as the radioimmunoassay. Okay, so regarding the application, so first application is it is helpful for to measure the pharmacological activity of new drug or chemicals undefined substance. Okay, it is mainly the main application is to helpful for to develop the pharmacological profile of a new drug. First you can give the drug to the animals and note down the heart rate. If heart rate is decreases, then it is the antihypertensive. If heart rate is increases, then it indicates a vasopressor agents. And then you note down the urine output before how much urine is going, and after drug administration how much urine is going. So then you can conclude whether it is the diuretics or antidiuretics, and like that GIT. The different organ function you can screen with the help of the animals of a by using a new drug. So this is the one of the main applications of bioassay. It is helpful for the establishment of the pharmacological activity or profile of a new drug, and also it is helpful for to measure the drug toxicity and unwanted effect. You give the drug to the animal and observe the sign and signals, whether any sound is there, that is altering sound. If you give the drug to animal, the animal is alter the sound, it indicates so that drug can depresses the CNS. Okay, if you giving the drug to the animal is suffering from the itching or irritation, that indicates so the drug is having the skin irritation as a ADR. If you're giving the drug, immediately the animal is omitting or MSCs, it indicates so this drug is causes the nausea and vomiting. Or you give the drug after few days, you know down the WBC count, RBC count. If the drug WBC count is decreases, so that indicates it is a immunosuppressive agent, or it can decrease the immunity. If RBC number decreases, so that indicates so the drug is causes the anemia. Okay, if the weight is decreases, so that indicates loss of appetite is the area of the this drug. With the help of the animal, or we can give the drug to animal and note down the physical signs or behavior of the animal, then we can conclude it or we can writing the ADR. So that's why the biopsy is also helpful for to measure the drug toxicity and unwanted effect. Okay, it is also helpful for to measure the concentration of drug and other active substance in the blood and other body fluids. With the help of estimations of body fluids or blood, we can know down the how much drug is enter in the blood after administration. So that is also established with the help of the bioassay. Also, it is helpful for to ascertain the potency of a drug. Once again, the efficacy or effect of drug is also established with the help of the biopsy. For example, one instrument is there in our lab that is known as the actophotometer. Simple any drug, you take the drug, before taking the drug, take the rat or mice animal, you put on that particular instrument. It can give the score. So that score is the index of the brain, okay, or alertness. So if it is nearly 100 score you think, then you can give the drug to the animal, same animal. Once again, the same animal for same time you put on the same instrument actophotometer and note down the score or locomotion. If the score is increases more than the normal, so that indicates, so whatever the drug we are prepared or made or discovered, so that drug is a CNS stimulant. If the score is decreases there as compared to normal, so that indicates the drug is a CNS deeper. So like that, with the help of the mice or rat or that actophotometer instrument, we can know the effect of the drug on the CNS. That is the one of the main application of the bioassay. Okay, it is also helpful for to study the complex compound like a vitamin B12 efficacy. So if you made the vitamin B12 by synthetically or isolation method, if it is vitamin B12 or not, so that can also confirmed, so with the help of the bioassay. Okay, if the sample is too small or there is no other methods are available, so then also the bioassay is helpful to find out the quality, quantity and concentration or efficacy or pharmacological effect of the new drug. So where other methods or other assay is not available, then it can give idea regarding what drug was you prepared by accidentally or during the research. Okay, if you're doing the research, some new compound is formed. If in your brain is the curiosity was developed, what whether my drug having any effect or not, but where there is no methods are available because it's completely new compound. So on certain conditions, this bioassay is the helpful to develop the pharmacological profile of the new drugs. Then regarding the importance, so first importance of bioassay is active principle of drug is unknown or cannot be isolated like insulin, postpituitary extract. So where the bioassay is helpful. For example, if the chemical structure is present or if you know the active constituents, it containing berberines or it containing aconite or it containing caffeine, then you can write. So this drug is CNS stimulant. This drug is a like that. If the active principle is unknown, then we can, with the help of the bioassay, we can conclude the what is the type of that drug. Okay, chemical method is either not available. If available, it is too complex or insensitive or require higher doses. So on that time also the bioassay is helpful for to find out the unknown concentration if the chemical method is available or if it is not available. If it is available, it is too complex or insensitive. So on that time also the bioassay is a helpful. Then a third importance, chemical composition is not known. The example is a long acting thyroid stimulant. On that time also the bioassay is helpful for to develop the pharmacological profile of a new drug. For example, if chemical structure is present, if you know, for example, it is containing OH, it indicates it is a water soluble because you are applying the SAR from the that is the medicinal biochemistry. With the help of SAR, you can able to Write the pharmacology. Sir, this drug is water soluble. Sir, this drug is an antibiotic. This drug is CNS stimulant. Because with the help of the SAR or with the help of the chemical structure. If the chemical structure is unknown, it is not known. So on certain condition, we can establish the activity with the help of the bioassay only. Okay, chemical composition is different from the active principles. So then also we can bioassay is helpful for to establish the pharmacological profile. For example, if the nitrobenzene is present means, so that should be the chloramphenicals. Okay, like that you can matches. If the chemical moiety or structure is matches. If it is completely new, the composition differ from the main compound, then only the bioassay is the beneficial for helpful to establish the pharmacological profile of a new drug. Example is a cardiac glycoside. That is the example is digitalis. It is also cardiac tonics or cardiac glycosides and is a senna arseniosides. So these are different structure, but with the help of animal we can conclude it is a cardiac glycosides or catecholamines like adenylene, noradrenaline, ephedrine, pseudoephedrines, isoprylene, salbutamol. So these all are the catecholamines. So their structure was different, but with the help of the assay, bioassay, we can conclude it is a catecholamines or it is acting on a CVS or it is a sympathomimetic. So like that, the bioassay is helpful for if the chemical composition is unknown or if it is differ, if it is available, it is too complex. So on that time, the assay is helpful for to establish the pharmacological profile of a new drugs. Then regarding principle, the first principle is active principle to be assessed should show the same measured response in all animals. Okay, so whatever the activity or consider for establishment of that new drug, so that effect is similar or that response is similar in the all the animals. So then only, so that activity you consider for study in the biosis. So that is the first principles. So what do I, for example, if any drug, if it is decrease the heart rate means in all animals, in frog, dog, cat, human beings, it should be decrease only heart rate. Then only you can conclude it is a cardiac stimulant. That is the first principle of the bias. And second, the basic principle of bias is compared to the test substance with the international standard preparation of the same, and to find out how much test substance is required to produce the same biological effect as produced by the standard. Second principle means, so whatever you test compound you are taken for study, its activity should be compared with the standard drug available in the market or recognized by globally. Your choice or your opinion are easily available. You do not take any drug as a standard. The second principle is told you can compare your test compound always universally accepted standard drug. For example, if you want to know the hypnotic effect of drug or sleep inducing effect of your new synthesized drug, so on that time you only take the diazepam as a standard drug or alprazolam as a standard drug. No, you do not take the any other drug. Those drug can induce the sleep. Okay, on that time you can match your drug activity with the standard drug that can accepted globally or internationally recognized standard. That is the second principles of the bias. And third, the standards are internationally accepted samples of drug maintained and recommended by the expert committee of biological standardizations of the WHO. So whatever the standard drugs are there, so that should be established or recognized by a WHO, not recognized by any ordinary organizations or your own opinion. You do not think that is a standard drug if still that drug was potent. अगर वो ड्रग पोटेंट भी है but that drug is not a standard drug, it should be recognized by the international standards or recognized by the WHO. So then only you consider that drug is a standard drug, and for you can take that drug for the study of your unknown drug compared with the so that of that drugs. Okay, then fourth principle is the reference standard at test sample should have same pharmacological effect and mode of action, so that their DRC curve run parallel, their potential ratio can be calculated. So whatever you are taken standard, so their effect or pharmacological effect is similar to the test. If you are taken propanol as a standard drug and you have studied the hypnotic activity of any new drug, then propanol is not a standard drug for that, because propanol is an antihypertensive and your hypnotic drug is a induce the sleep. So like that, you do not take the other effect, pharmacological effect. You take the standard drug, so that drug effect is similar, or whatever the effect you are consider, so that both test effect and standard effect should be the same. Then only, and even the mode of action is then only same. So then only you consider that drug is a standard drug. Otherwise, you can reject that drug. You take the another drug for to establish the pharmacology of your test samples. Then fifth, the method selected should be reliable, sensitive and reproducible. Whatever method you take, so that should be reliable, easily understand by everyone, and it is a sensitive, and what results are obtained, so that should be the reproducible. If anyone want to cross check, the same result should be available or obtained or produces. Such reproducible method you should be considered for the study of biology of a new drugs. Then sixth, the degree of pharmacological response produced should be reproducible under identical conditions. So whatever the effect you are established, so that effect should be re-established in the everywhere around the world, not only by you or your lab. If your same drug effect you studied in the different country or different lab, in same effect can be observed. Plus or minus is okay, but same effort should be shown. But it did not show in your lab it decrease the heart rate, in another lab it increase the heart rate. That is the wrong. If in your lab that drug is decrease heart rate, means in another lab also that drug is decrease the heart rate, maybe less or maybe more, but it always decrease the heart rate. So like that, reproducible effect should be considered for the study of the biostudies, another principles. Okay. Then seventh, activity asset should be the activity of interest. Individual variation must be minimized, accounted for. So whatever activity you are established or considered for the study of test compound, so that should be universally accepted, not your choice. You are usually easily understand, means I take that activity as an end point. It is not the rule. The rule is, so that activity is universally accepted. For example, sweating is also indications of the loss of the fever, or it can decrease the fever by a drug. But sweating is not the ideal activity for those drugs, they can decrease the fever. Or only you can take the parameter as a body temperature. If the drug decreases the body temperature, means it is a antipyretic. Okay, not a, if sweating occur means definitely the fever is decreases, but it is not a interest of activity, it is the interest of our own. So like that, whatever activity you are consider, so that activity should be internationally accepted, not our own choice. It is another principle of the bioassay. Then whatever the problems, biological variations are there, so that should be minimized as possible as. Regarding, you can maintain the hygienic conditions. Regarding study, you can avoid the error, or you can maintain the give the correct food or water environment. So these all are the biological variations occurs for to establishments of the pharmacological profile of a new drug, so that all are kept in the mind and minimized. The next one is the biassay might measure different aspect of same substance compared with the chemical assay. The next one is the test solution standard should be compared their established pharmacological effect by using the specified pharmacological technique. Once again, it can told whatever the activity was compared, so that activity should be internationally accepted or established or reproducible effect. And regarding the advantages or merits, active principle, first advantage, the active principles of drug is unknown, can be isolated, so that can be established with the help of the biopsy, or chemical method is not available. Then also the biopsy is helpful for to find out the qualitative and quantitative estimations of the new drug, or chemical composition is not known, then also biopsy give the clue regarding the effect of drug. Our chemical composition is differ, but has same pharmacological action, then also the bias is helpful for to establish the pharmacological profile of a new drug. When quantity is too small, then also the bias is beneficial. Then regarding the demerits, disadvantage, it is a less accurate, less elaborate, more laborious because more animal required, more labs are required, then more troublesome, more expensive and time consuming methods. That is the biases. So these are the demerits of the bias.